Welcome to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers, newbies, and veterans, and everyone in between. We're hosted by M.A. Lee with the assistance of Remy Black and Edie Rooms, all from Writers Inc. Books. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Each episode lasts as long as it takes to fix a quick dinner, drive a short commute, or take a brisk walk. Resources and links are in the show notes. Visit us at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Now, on to this week's episode. We're continuing our Easter series combined with writing as we seek more. Good Friday. Why is Good Friday called good? That is the official title of this meditation, but the focus is something else. First, the answer to the question is basically because we've received the best gift in the world, the gift of redeeming salvation from Christ Jesus. Our focus is an aspect of that question answer wrapped up in a behavior of self-denial. On this Good Friday, let us consider the reason we say no to opportunities. Every day we say no to opportunities, whether those opportunities are for our spiritual well-being or for our intellectual and physical improvement. We just say no. Should we? The Sanhedrin court said no to Christ because he was not what they expected the Messiah would be. Pontius Pilate said no to Christ because he didn't want to go against the crowd. How many times do we say no to Christ-given opportunities because we think they will demand too much of a sacrifice? More vision. We often say no because the opportunity is not what we envisioned it would be. It doesn't match to our expectations. It doesn't look like the shiny dream we imagined or promised to give us what we presume that we want. Yet that opportunity will open countless doors and windows. It might even take the roof off our prospects. Still, we shake our heads and move on. Christ was not what the Sanhedrin court expected the Messiah would be. First, Christ seemed to be from Nazareth, as Nathanael said in John 1:46. Can any good thing come from Nazareth? The Messiah was prophesied to be from Bethlehem. Christ was born there. No one in the court took the trouble to ask where he was born. Second, Christ didn't look the way the Messiah should look. A common man, he walked about with no great show of himself or his plans. He had no great mansion, no great wealth backing him, no army to lead a revolution against the Romans. Third, Christ was never going to give the Sanhedrin court what they expected the Messiah to give. He never said he would recreate the glorious nation of Israel. Instead, Christ presented the kingdom of heaven and a revolution of the soul. The Sanhedrin court and many people of Judea expected the Messiah would remove the pagan Roman government. They wanted a return to self-rule, although Jewish history proves that home rule only led them into darkness. Conveniently, the court rabbis forgot the disaster of home rule. Under cover of darkness, the Sanhedrin court used lying witnesses to stack the evidence against Christ. Then, to ensure his death, they sent him to the head of the Roman government in Jerusalem by lying about Christ's supposed treason against Rome. The Messiah that the Sanhedrin court wanted would have led a revolution against the Romans, therefore committing treason against Rome. Would they also have turned over any Messiah who fulfilled their expectations? I believe so, for even that Messiah would not have fulfilled all of their grand and glorious dreams. They would then turn against that deliverer. God provided a Messiah with a heavenly and eternal mission, not an earthly and temporal mission. The Sanhedrin court had to lie to themselves in order to shut the door on the opportunity Christ offered. We do the same. We lie about an opportunity before us to make it easier to turn down that opportunity. We claim that it doesn't match to our little checklist, so we reject it completely. Only when that opportunity is gone do we realize how much more it is. Too late. more spine. We say no because the opportunity before us goes against the crowd. Pontius Pilate was the political and military leader of Rome in Jerusalem. When he interrogated Christ, he didn't get the admission of treason that he needed to move forward. But he couldn't send Christ back to the Sanhedrin court. That would upset the 50-plus rabbis. He passed the responsibility to Herod. Herod had a little fun with mockery, then sent Christ back to Pontius Pilate, who then decided a little torture might appease the court crowd. Christ is beaten, whipped, crowned with thorns, mocked, reviled. While battered, Christ was not broken. Christ remains true, then and now and forever. Yet the court crowd remained unappeased. Pontius Pilate says, "You brought me this man as one who is inciting the people to rebellion. I have examined him in your presence and have found no basis for your charges against him." Luke 23:14. 3 times Pilate offers to the crowd a plan to punish Christ by releasing him. Then he gives them a choice: Christ, bloody and beaten, or Barabbas, a criminal revolutionary. For whatever reason, the crowd picks Barabbas, not Christ, not the Christ whom they had celebrated 6 days before when he entered Jerusalem. Crowds act upon emotion, not logic. Crowds forget what's inconvenient to remember. Once one strong voice gains control, crowds follow along. Mob mentality is a dangerous thing. How many times have we rejected an opportunity because so many people around us claimed it wasn't for us? They claimed it was the wrong thing for us to do, or conversely, as we hesitate, caught between what we know is right and what is wrong, people clamor for us to choose the wrong thing. Do we question the motives for the crowd's advice? Do we question whose best interest they are keeping in mind? Does the opportunity require moving or changing jobs? Does it require stepping out of the norm? Does it require standing alone rather than with the crowd? Why shouldn't we grab that opportunity? Without a good and logical reason, considering long-term results, only then should we decide. Sadly, we often say no because the opportunity requires too much of a sacrifice. Christ was rejected, mocked and reviled, scourged with a whip that slashed open his flesh, beaten and bloody, thorns pressed into his flesh, nails driven into his hands and feet. He hung from a cross, his weight pulled down on each nail. With his arms up and out, breathing became impossible. Then a sword pierced his side. Christ never stepped away from his purpose, from his great gift to us. Yet we reject an opportunity because it will inconvenience us. It's harder than we're used to. We might need to change our schedule or our plans. We might have to take a pay cut now, even though we'll make more later. That opportunity might require us to leave our little circle and be among strangers, or use skills we're uncomfortable with, or take a stand when we'd rather hide in silence. We really have only one reason to reject an opportunity. The only reason is if we know going in whether it will damage our relationship with Christ or not. And who's involved in our relationship with Christ? Him and us. God has said, "Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you." Hebrews 13:5. If only we could be as steadfast as him. Good Friday is called good because, after all we did and do to him, he remains steadfast and loving, forgiving and saving, caring for us. As Good Friday progresses, consider the ways we reject the small and large opportunities that God gives us. Step away from expectations. Ignore what the crowd roars. Accept sacrifices. And remember, he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Creativity refresh number 6. What do we write when we have no idea what to write? We know what we have planned, yet it feels totally wrong. Or we have no idea how to start a scene that will present a major element or turning point in our story. Or we finished an all-consuming project, and it's time to start the next project, but we're at a loss. Who, what, why, what do we do? Or we are completely dry, nothing, no thing is there. We have hazy fragments, no clear image, no iota of an idea, not even a jot or tittle. What to do? What to do? Well, take a break from purpose. Break out a new pen and new paper, maybe a colorful notebook or a journal set aside for later. Later is now. Or pick an old journal and find a blank page, crack it open, and write one word. What word? Ah, that's the problem. What word, or which word? If you're in a story, pick a word from that, from the teaser or the theme or the last paragraph. A strong word, a richly evocative word. Or look out the window and pick a single word of what you see or hear or feel about that view. Or you were dry, so list 10 words about anything. Natural calamities, life, twist, surprises, films, success, failure, angels, red. That's my 10. Now pick one of those, whichever makes your mind go, Set a timer for 15 minutes. Write that word. Write it again and again. Something popped into your mind, didn't it? Write that. Whatever it was, related or not, write out the thing that popped in. Write steadily, without worrying about grammar or spelling or neatness or anything but that thing, the next thought and the next and the next, one after another. Follow where your mind leads. For once, our brains are talking to us. We spend all our time telling our mind this or that. Now, let the mind speak, uncensored, uncontrolled. At the 5 or 7 minute mark, static will interrupt the flow as our minds run out of surface thoughts. Write the last significant word again and again and again. By the time you write it 3 or 4 times, the brain will cast up another thought. Follow it, even if it is not related, especially when it is not related, even if the connection makes no sense to track this new thought, and resume the free flow of writing. You will hit more static in a few more minutes. Repeat the last significant single word and keep going, no matter the thought, until the timer goes off. And if words are still coming, write those until the next stoppage. Then walk away. Do not read it over, just walk away. Return to that writing in 10 minutes or so and read it. Star anything significant. Did you get an inkling of what you needed? If so, write that inkling and follow it for a bit. If not, repeat the exercise. Congratulations, you've met free writing. Whenever I've completed this exercise, I've often ended in totally unexpected places with no real idea how my mind jumped from starting point to end point. I've started with babies and ended with war. Autumn leaves and ended with whiskey. Blue sky ended with car crashes. Ice storm 157 ended with weddings. Those leaps are strange. After every single instance of this deliberate exercise, I have had an unexpected idea for my current story, the next scene to write, a revelation for a character, or an unexpected plot twist. Free writing reveals connections we would never anticipate. AI, artificial intelligence, would never anticipate those connections. Our job, for the completely unexpected, is to back up and plant hidden clues. We often discover those clues are already there, obscured even from us, until we look for them. Free writing exposes what the subconscious is working on. Aren't our God-given minds something strange and wondrously made? Thanks for listening to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers at all levels, hosted by Emma Lee from Writers Inc. Books, assisted by Remy Black and Edie Runes. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Music is licensed through Audio Jungle, called Background Music Loop. Its creator is Alexander Polishchuk, known on Audio Jungle as Plastic 3. The music comes in different iterations. Show notes and resource links for this and other episodes can be found at thewritefocus.blogspot.com. Write to us at winkbooks@aol.com when you have questions, comments, and speculations. We will try to answer you as quickly as possible. By the way, we will not mind your email address. That's rude. If you find value in our content, share with your writing friends or write a review. We're small beans here without the advertising budget of the big peeps, and you can make a difference. And whatever occurs, write on.